incredible news, incredible news, absolutely incredibly sad, and just another, for me, example and reminder as to why I always say that there's no such thing as safe spaces when it comes to dance music. There might be supervised spaces, which may maybe the new way we should kind of push this type of thing, but the premise of a safe space does not exist, in my personal opinion. I think it's an insult to our collective intelligence, and if anything, we should be pushing that we have maybe supervised space with like helpers and, you know, whatever they're called, that are going to be able to kind of be to hand if you need any help and assistance. But nightclubs by their very nature cannot be safe spaces, as this headline proves. Historic London club Heaven shuts down after security guard charged with rape. Let me repeat that one more time. Historic London club, historic gay London club, historic queer LGBTQ, like you would think of this as being like a haven, a safe space of sorts, shuts after security guard is charged with rape. Police confirm that the venue's license is suspended for 28 days pending a hearing. It says London's Heaven nightclub has been forced to close after one of the security staff was charged with rape. Could you imagine this? It's bad enough when punters do it, but a staff member? Excuse me? The historic LGBTQIA plus venue's license was suspended for 28 days after a 47-year-old Morenike J. Adewo. Oh no, he's a black guy. Fuck. Morenike G. Adiwoli was charged with rape last Wednesday. Uncle, no. The Guardian reported. Let's actually read the article from the Guardian. Oh no, this is shocking. This is so sad. The license has been suspended for 28 days. Let's read the article from the Guardian. One of the London's most prominent nightclubs has been forced to close after a member of security staff was charged with rape. The Westminster Council's licensing committee ruled on Friday that Heaven's alcohol license should be suspended for up to 28 days after the woman was allegedly raped in the vicinity of the venue. Basically, suspending their license is basically closing them down, especially in London. Like, no one's going to Heaven if they don't sell alcohol, you know? That's the whole reason why they suspend their license, and they hold it over your head because they know that's basically, you know, that's basically a venue killer. But it makes complete sense. If somebody dies or somebody gets raped in your nightclub, you should definitely get it shut down. Like, allow that. Other staff then allegedly ignored her efforts to report the attack, the Met Police said. What? Westminster Council Licensing Committee ruled on Friday that Heaven's alcohol license should be suspended for 28 days after a woman was allegedly raped in the vicinity of the venue in the early hours of November 1st. Other staff allegedly ignored her efforts to report the attack, the Met said. This again goes back to what I've said previously on this particular pod. I think evil is always going to exist in the world, because if you have evil, if you have good, you have to have evil. I think the responsibility of good people, I would count myself as one of them, I think at times, is to call out evil. And if you turn a blind eye to it, if you facilitate it, then evil will never stop. Evil will never cease. You will never be able to save people. And I think personally, for me, in some cases, I think the people who turn a blind eye or assist the perpetrator are sometimes worse than the perpetrator themselves. So if you're, you know, like, it's all well and it's not well and good, but it's one thing for the one person to go and rape one person, but it's another thing for people to witness it or to be made aware of it and make no effort to stop or make no effort to report it. Those people should also be punished, if not more than the person that did it, in my humble opinion. A member of security staff was arrested and been charged with rape, the force said. He's on remand in prison. Morenike J. Adiwoli, 47, of Dunlop Close, Dartford, also known as Olu Julius or Ulusu Arabi, was charged on, oh my god, it's a black dude, it's a blackest of the blackest dude. This guy sounds Nigerian. Damn son. Damn son, damn son, damn son. I don't know if he's one of these guys, but I think he, you know, he's definitely the same skin tone you'd imagine. Yo, this is crazy. I wonder if there's been any pictures cut in the courtroom that would, so we could see what this guy actually looks like. Doesn't look like there's any pictures from the courtroom. Maybe that's him there. I don't think so, because that was some sort of pastor in these particular pictures here. The Honorable Morenike G. and maybe that name is a bit more, it's a bit typical in Nigeria itself. But let's continue. A Westminster Council spokesperson said, following a request from the Metropolitan Police, that considering the evidence from both the police and the operator, the council's licensing committee has been decided to suspend Heaven's license for 28 days. A spokesperson said that follows a report that an alleged rape was made to police on Friday the 1st of November. A full licensing hearing will be held in December, where the both police and venue management will have the opportunity to present new evidence. This case is currently subject to ongoing police investigation, and we are unable to comment further. Heaven's owner Jeremy Joseph posted on Instagram saying the club was considering its position regarding the appeal. The post added, "We are sickened by this allegation, but we can't comment as it's an ongoing criminal investigation. We can only send our thoughts to the alleged victim." There's a part of me that thinks if somebody gets raped in your venue or murdered, you should just voluntarily, without pressure, without suggestion, just close your club yourself. If you can't prevent people from being raped in your club or murdered in your club, like, it's one thing that happens outside, cool, not cool, but cool. You get what I mean? But if you can't prevent those things happening inside your club, that's in my estimation, that's a kind of like similar to like gross misconduct. You should just shut your club down yourself. Just shut it down. We don't need that space. We don't need it. I know Heaven's been a beacon for the LGBTQIA plus community and blah 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 over the years, but there's enough other clubs that serve that particular community out there. You don't need Heaven. Like, Heaven, obviously we need it in some respects, a London institution, I get it, but if they can't protect their patrons from rape and murder, that's just crazy, in my personal opinion. Yes, there's no safe spaces, but rape and murder in your club, come on. Oh, fucking crazy. And then to make matters worse, look at this headline, coach of the Standard. Heaven nightclub has the highest generator of crime in West End before alleged rape, hearing told. Highest generator of crime. I didn't even know this was a thing. I guess it's a statistic they have in the city from the police, where they're able to figure out what spots are the worst, what spots cause the most trouble. So I'm assuming they can then, deploy police officers in that area to maintain the peace and shit. And Heaven, for some reason, has the highest crime generator. I don't know if it's because most LGBTQIA plus people, you would imagine, would be high earners or be more free with like handing over disposable income, their money they have to kind of party and have a good time. I don't know. Or if it's just because of that area, because it's in central London. I don't know in particular, but that's a fucking crazy headline there. Read the story further. One of London's most prominent nightclubs forced to close after a member of security guards was charged with rape. Westminster Council Licensing Committee ruled that Heaven's alcohol should be suspended for 28 days. She was 18. God almighty, man. Thoughts and prayers go out to that young lady. Hold your head up. Hope she has a good circle of friends and family around her. 18 years old woman was allegedly raped in the vicinity on November 1st. Other staff then allegedly ignored her efforts to report the attack. At a subcommittee meeting on Tuesday, Jeremy Joseph failed to get permission of the club off of Village Street to stay open pending a review next month. He said Heaven's head of security was suspended and then sacked. Just sack him, man. Why are you suspending people for? A new team of doormen and women have been employed and already undergo vetting. I'm going to try not to get emotional, he said. This has been shocked all of us at Heaven. We are really devastated by it and goes against everything we stand for. Our thoughts have to go with the victim. I've never been in this position before. But that's also an oversight. This is like a culmination of an oversight they had, and most likely it's evidence of like the security team in that particular venue thinking they can get away with murder. They've been able to get away with it for a long time, and that unfortunate rape was basically the culmination of it. So this is definitely falls. This, I think, in my opinion, what do I know? But I definitely think this falls on the feet of the owner. I think this is definitely his responsibility. This is definitely something that he would have to kind of live with. And if they do reopen, he would have to take a long, hard look in the mirror and change everything about the club and how they kind of operate and how they move. Because I don't think this is I would imagine if you asked a bunch of girls that went to Heaven, they for sure would give you some dicey stories about some weird encounters they've had with people in there. I don't think this is the first. I don't think this is the last if it does stay open. But it's truly, truly tragic, man. Thoughts go out to the victim. Police lodged 109 incidences since May only, including sexual assault, grievous bodily harm, public order, phone thefts, and pickpocketing among Heaven's 7,000 revelers a week. Bosses reported many offences themselves. Police this is the difference as well about having a nightclub like that that's servicing a particular community, because I think a nightclub like that in that location that was mostly for black people wouldn't be able to get away with 109 instances since May and not have the license suspended already. It wouldn't have got to the rape allegation or the rape, incident before its license got revoked. It wouldn't happen that way. That's a real issue. Different venues depending on who goes there and who owns it get treated very differently. This is a really sucky thing about living in London. This premises is noted by the police as having the highest crime generator in the borough. There are concerns vulnerable people are at risk. Says turning away 150, 200 people from the premises for being drunk requires more staff and management policy to ensure their safety. This currently does not appear to exist. However, they noted that the good intentions of Heaven's owners and a desire for the club to succeed by previous management. But it's not enough, man. It's not enough. You need to do more. I think the behavior around your club, whether it's inside or outside, is definitely a reflection of how the owners move. I don't think it's a coincidence that the best clubs are the best clubs just because they're the best clubs. I think it's very intentional, very dedicated and committed people who own these places, who are like thinking about the smallest minute detail that's going to affect the overall ambience and aura, ambience, I guess, of their clubs. I don't think it's a coincidence at all that the best clubs are the best clubs. So I think the owners of Heaven have to take a lot of responsibility of this. And then, of course, Heaven Nightclub loses appeal to reopen after a license has been suspended for 28 days, which again, I'm not surprised about, by the way. I'm not surprised about at all. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest that they lost the appeal, because like I said, if somebody dies or somebody gets raped at your venue, you stay open anyway. You should voluntarily close the place. But I guess it is what it is. Heaven Nightclub has lost its appeal to reopen after its license was suspended for 28 days. During the subcommittee hearing held on Tuesday, the venue's owner argued to Westminster Council that the police characterization of Heaven as the West End's highest crime generator was unfair due to its size and popularity. No, I don't think that's true. I don't think clubs, just because they're big, are gonna be high crime generators by default. I think if anything, the bigger your club is, the more you should be paying attention to that sort of stuff and trying to prevent it, because you know what's at risk. You know what you have to kind of lose. The responsibility you have to your kind of overall community and the people that go to your place all the time and whatever it may be. These comments follow the reports presented by the Metropolitan Police that the council, that 109 incidences have been recorded at the club since May. Joseph told London Standard, "We're tackling the issue and increased reporting should be credited, not used against us." Nah, fuck off. Heaven Nightclub has total capacity of 1,725 people. Former Heaven guard was arrested and charged with rape of an 18-year-old woman last Wednesday. He's currently on remand from prison. Fucking crazy. The alleged incident happened in the vicinity of the venue in the early hours of November 1st, and other staff members allegedly ignored the woman's effort to report the crime. But yeah, so Heaven lost this license. Another venue bites the dust, but in this rare occurrence, I'm all for it. I'm usually not a fan of venues closing or being forced to close. I think we need more venues in London, but a place that allows, or a place that would have security guards that would even do that to a woman and have other security or other staff members turn a blind eye into it and not take it seriously, it doesn't need to be open, to be aware. We don't need that space. We don't need it. We don't need it.